could you please tell us your name and the official name of your building or property on the City of Salmon Arm's Heritage Register?
My name is Gerry Chatelain, and I own the Collier House.
And how long have you been associated with the property?
We bought it in 2000, so it's been 25 years now.
And what initially drew you to the property?
My wife and I were actually looking to build a heritage style house, an old type building, because we liked the angles and the environment that kind of construction generates. And we happened to see this house for sale driving by. So we decided to take a look at it. It was in pretty bad shape. As I had indicated, it had been built in 1927 by the Collier family. They sold it in 1945. And then it was purchased by Beatrice Clark, who was a matron at the hospital. And she raised her son Sidney there. She had been evacuated because of the fire in '98. And really couldn't come back because she was suffering from Alzheimer's and couldn't take care of herself anymore. So we bought the property. As I say, it was in pretty bad shape. It was on the point of falling down. I wasn't enthusiastic about taking on the work, but my wife was adamant. So I accepted the challenge, first of all, because I knew that size of property, that close to downtown, would never lose its value. So we negotiated a price, and I think the first 4 months basically ripped the house apart and down to the studs on the inside and started over from there, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Because I, as I said, enjoy just the feeling, the atmosphere of the house, as it's located on the property, and also just the angles and the corners and the materials and just the feel of the house.
And when you say you weren't looking forward to taking on the work, did you have like the skill set needed to take it on?
Or did I have the experience, or
like the building knowledge?
Well, I'm not a contractor, but growing up, I always kept my eyes and ears open. My father was sort of a general mechanic and built his own house and did his own work. So I learned a lot just looking over his shoulder, sort of thing. And of course, any of the stuff that needed licenses and permits, I did contract that out. But most of the carpentry work and the general renovation and the planning and design, I took that on myself and just sort of picked away at it. I had help there, here and there, but gave me something to do, kept me busy, and I enjoyed the planning of it and the execution. It was a challenge in the sense of when I started off, during the years, of course, they never took anything off the house. Like the roof had 3 layers of shingles on it, along with a metal roof. The floors had tile and linoleum and then carpet. They never took anything out. So it was almost like unwrapping a Christmas gift to a certain extent in terms of digging down through the layers and discovering the present underneath, sort of thing. The nice wood floors. I took a lot of the lath and plaster off the walls. I probably took 8 tons of material out of that house over the years that I've been working on it. And if I didn't know something, I looked it up, did some research, and proceeded apace. So if everything's okay, well, thank you very much. And if everything's not, well, blame it on the last guy.
Has anything been structurally changed in the house?
We did, there were 3 bedrooms, 2 downstairs, or 4 bedrooms, 2 upstairs. The bathroom downstairs was so small that I had to carve a 1 bedroom in half, made a big walk-in closet so I could expand the bathroom, because you actually had to turn sideways to get into the bathroom before. I built another bathroom upstairs, but really, to that extent, that's about it. The walls stayed the same. Did replace most of the windows, because somewhere along the way, somebody had replaced the old wooden windows with aluminum windows, and I went back to wooden windows. And as I say, I had the roof done, and the place was re-stuccoed when I did the windows. I supported the basement a little more. I did put some cement flooring downstairs where there was, in the basement, where there was wood dirt floor before.
Was that in the original basement, or was it one of the ones that was lifted?
Well, thinking back on it, I was in some sort of time crunch. We were selling one house while we were renovating this one so we could move in. Looking back on it, probably would have been better to get somebody in and lift the house and redo the whole bottom structure. But I had neither the time nor the resources available that time. And to get somebody who's knowledgeable in that work is a long-term process. But I've reinforced all the walls downstairs, and made sure any cracks were patched, and a rubber membrane was put around it so there's no water leakage. There's various jack posts and beams to help support the house. But basically, the structure of the house, I didn't move any doors or move windows or anything like that. Actually found some windows that had been boarded over and concealed at one time, and were able to rejuvenate those.
What do you think the reasoning for that would have been?
Well, the roof line on the house is this way on the front part, and then that way on the other part. So there's deep valleys running off both roofs. And I would imagine that over the years that ice and water had seeped in under the edges of the roof and run down the interior walls and those 2 points and destroyed the lath and plaster. So instead of ripping that out, they just put some wallboard over it and block those windows out. So when I ripped all the lath and plaster off the interior walls, because there was no insulation in the house, zero. I actually asked the Sidney Clark, who is the son of the matron, how they survived during the winter. And during the summer, you put another log on the fire, you put another sweater on, and carry on, sort of thing, right? So when I found those windows, I decided to keep them, and of course repaired the roof and took care of the water damage problem.
Mm-hmm. What words of wisdom would you like to share with people thinking about taking on a home like yours?
Well, as I said, you have to be enthusiastic about living in that kind of space. In the sense that it's not a box. I mean, when my wife died and I started looking around and maybe selling and downsizing, any house that I looked at, paled in comparison in terms of just the aesthetic and the atmosphere and the feel of living in that kind of space. So the main thing is be prepared that there are not going to be any simple tasks. Floors will not be level, walls will not be plumb, because over 100 years, house settle, they warp and subside. But having said all that, that it's also a challenge in the sense of making your imagination grow so that you're able to problem solve and come up with solutions to whatever problem you're encountering. I didn't do it because it was a heritage house. I did it because I enjoyed living in that kind of space, so I accepted the cost. It's not an easy task. It can be expensive. But looking back on it, I don't think I would have done anything different. I mean, I bought it for this amount, and it's now worth this amount. I didn't pay that much money to get to where I am today. So there's a profit there. But I didn't do it for the profit. I did it because of my own satisfaction. So as long as you realize why you're doing it, go for it.
And if you had one word to describe your home, what would it be?
Well, the immediate word that comes up is cozy. I mean, back then they built. I mean, I can't believe when I interviewed the daughter, Adrian, that there was 8 people that lived in the house. I mean, small bedrooms, small living area. That it's cozy now. Back then, it was sort of a not a luxury house, but certainly more than an average house, sort of thing. That's all relative, right? The idea, though, that I can look around and look at the cove molding and just the architecture and the dimensions, and it just gives me a feeling of home and belonging.